if you have a choice between two ideas and one is medium size and the other is giant size, for sure go for the giant size thing. If there is any kind of shortcut, which I don't think there is any shortcut of anything, is to ask yourself, what am I most afraid of? If you have 3 or 4 options that you're thinking about doing, which one scares you the most? And that's the one you should do. Again, this is like the theory of resistance and the principle of resistance with a capital R, that the reason we feel fear towards a certain project is that's our resistance. That's our that's this voice of the devil, this dragon, trying to stop us from coming into our own and being who we really are. And it's trying to scare us. And it does scare us, right? So when we feel that big fear, that's a good sign. That's a great sign because it says, that's the one we got to do. And another thing I've been thinking about recently is self-doubt. When you're trying to decide on something you want to do, and once you've started to do it, that self-doubt is a good sign because it's just like fear. It's resistance. It's the devil trying to stop you from doing it. And so when you feel doubt about something, and I know it's tricky because it could be like some shitty idea that you legitimately feel, but usually it's not. It's almost always a really good idea that the self-doubt is the voice of resistance, trying to stop us from doing this thing. And in fact, I sort of have evolved this principle recently for myself that if I don't feel self-doubt, maybe for the first 9 months of some project I'm working on, something's wrong. I want to feel that self-doubt. Or when I do feel it, I take it as a good sign. This is why it's so tricky to navigate these waters, because resistance is a diabolical force that uses every kind of trick and deception against us.
It's so true. There's just so many different ways that, from imposter syndrome, like you're speaking to, where the self-doubt creeps in and like, who am I to, create something like this? I'm not skilled enough. I'm not talented enough. I'm not young enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not whatever, fill in the blank enough.
In fact, let me say right now, I would say if any of us feel imposter syndrome, that's a good sign, because that again is resistance trying to stop us. So, and the answer to that is to sort of say to us, this is bullshit, I am capable of doing this. And even if we're not capable of it at the start, when we start to do it, we'll become capable of it as we go along. And that's another really interesting thing, is that once we get into the creative flow, once we sort of commit to something, unseen forces come to our aid, as I'm sure you know. And things that we couldn't do on Tuesday, we can do on Thursday. I don't know why, but it's the goddess, it's somebody, it's something. Forces come to our aid. They see the courage that we show. They see the commitment. They say, this person's got some balls. We're going to help them, And all of a sudden, we can do what we couldn't do 2 days earlier.
That rings so true for me. There's the kind of...
Please, talk about it.
Well, there's the quote first, that the acronym or whatever of fear, which I'm sure many people have seen, which is either fear everything and run or face everything and rise. And you're speaking to the second one, where we use actually obstacles and resistance as the way in order to refine those gifts coming online. I even felt like this podcast, there was, uncertainties and fears, but ultimately it was that thing that felt like the most in alignment with my dharma and what I wanted to bring forth in the world. And so as I listened to it, I did feel like there were like universal unseen forces that really helped support me and gave me resources and connections and supported me listening to that voice. And it's just what you're speaking to. And I think it's a really important reminder that once you do face your fears and rise and commit yourself to the process and do the work and these things, we do get kind of, it feels like unseen outside help that support the process or even plant seeds and different things.
Yeah, it's definitely true. It doesn't seem like it should be true. It seems counterintuitive, but everyone I've talked to about this says the same thing that you just said, Andre, and it's even crazy in that things like money coming to you, that, it's material things. It isn't just, oh, I've got a vision or I have some good ideas, but that's true too. But also, like you say, lucky breaks that you didn't deserve, or people come into your life that can say, let me put you in touch with so-and-so. And all of a sudden the door opens and there you are. But it all kind of comes, I think, from that initial courage and initial commitment, to really, okay, I'm going to go for this. I'm not going to fuck around anymore. I'm going to go for it. The gods see it. What is it? Fortune favors the bold.
Yeah.
There's truth to